Yeah, hi all. Good morning. So before I proceed with the session, this is assignment I have shared in the last class. Any question? This assignment question in. Can I request those who are not speaking to please go on mute? Anshuman, Ritvij, can you please go on mute? Thank you. Yeah, please tell me the question which you want me to start with. Is this visible clearly?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Recording in
visible.
progress.
How the screen is visible. So which question should I start with? Which one you want to discuss? Okay, I will tell you quickly question number one. We create this table. So here we have a sprint table. May I request you all to please go on mute? I don't want to repeat this again and again. Avani, Hemant, Richmid, and others, please maintain decorum. You all are professional. Please be on mute if you're not speaking. Okay, so Ritvij is not prepared. I'm muting everyone. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay, so this is the data we have. This is the sprint table. The question is to still background noise. Sandeep, Satyajit, Firoz, Yogesh Sharma, please go on mute. I will wait until you guys are not muted. Satyajit Biswal, Yogesh Sharma, please go on mute. Thank you. Okay. So write a SQL query to fetch the student address for the below conditions. All these conditions are subqueries. So separate condition is there. First, what is the first condition? I want only those students who have scored 90 in physics. Okay, so to apply filter in SQL, we have this keyword where, right? You all know. How much marks you want? 90. So marks is equal to 90. I got marks is equal to 90. So is this the correct solution to this question?
No.
No. What we are missing here?
Physics, right? So we should have that subject is equal to physics. I mean, along with marks is equal to 90.
Yes. So here the user is telling marks 90 is fine, but in physics subject there, if you see the output, it is in chemistry as well. But we are interested marks 90 in physics only. So which operator should I use? AND operator or operator?
And
AND operator. AND subject is equal to physics. Okay. This is the output. Output is clear.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Now quickly I will show you how this works internally when you're executing this query. This is very important. First of all, which keyword is executed?
Select.
From.
Select star from.
First of all, from will be executed. First of all, from how, where? If you don't have table, how you will apply filter condition on that, right? So first of all, from will be executed. Okay. So you have selected the table from the database. This is the table, right? So from is done. After from, which keyword? where marks is equal to 90. Okay, so here in which column you are concentrating? Marks column, right? So in marks column, which record you want? 90 only. It means this record you want, right? This record you want. This record you want. And this record you want. Am I correct? Any questions so far?
No, all good.
Okay. Now on top of it, what you are telling, on top of it, you are telling this is fine, but and subject is equal to physics, right? You have one more condition, and subject is equal to physics. So and subject is equal to physics. So and is a which operator? Strict operator or flexible operator?
Strict operator.
A strict operator. A strict operator in the sense the second condition will work on top of first condition only. So the record which is selected from the first condition, second condition will apply on top of it. So first of all, for your quick understanding, I will select the first record. It means this records has cleared the round one, right? In interviews, you will see that those candidates who has cleared the round one, they will be eligible for round two. So this records has cleared the round one. Now what is round two? Subject is equal to physics. So now let's concentrate on the subject column. What you want? Physics. So this record has subject is equal to physics. This record has subject is equal to physics, right? So finally, these two records are selected. Hope it is clear how the engine is working internally. Any question? No? Okay, next is those who have scored 90 in chemistry. So what you will do in this question? Instead of physics,
Same
yeah.
query. Yeah, we have to just change it to the chemistry.
Change chemistry.
PHE.
Now, question number 3. Those who have scored 90 in physics or chemistry. First of all, let's try to understand this question. Here the question is those who have scored 90, right? But they are not concerned in physics or chemistry. They are telling anyone, either physics or chemistry. If someone has scored 90, it happens, no? Like in your class teacher wants to see how many of you have scored greater than 90, more than 90, irrespective of the subject, right? So for that case, what we have to do here is we will write here, select start from a student where marks equals to 19, right? Okay, but and what is the next condition? Next condition is either subject is equal to physics or chemistry, anyone. Okay, so now let me execute this query. Now see 90 marks we got. We are not bothered in which subject, physics or chemistry, any subject. Clear? Any question?
Is there any shortcut rather than writing that subject is equal to physics or subject is equal to chemistry 2 times? Just
Yeah,
answer.
so shortcut is there. Guys, have you discussed in operator?
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes.
not sure.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, fine then. But before that, is this query clear? Then I will come to that in operator. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes.
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 Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Now, same query. If you want to write using in operator, what you will do? You have to write subject in physics, comma, chemistry. It means you are telling I want 90 in either physics or chemistry, no issue, right? You get the same output. Okay. I've shown you both the ways. From performance, go with in operator always. Okay, this is good from performance perspective. Don't go with the SQL operator and all these things. This is not good from performance perspective. Hope this question number 1 is clear to everyone. Anyone who has doubt here wants me to repeat any concept? Clear? Okay. Next question, tell me which question should I explain next? 2, 3, 5, 6. Which one? I think you guys have not worked on this assignment, maybe. So if you have not worked, I will suggest you to please work on this assignment and let me know if you have any questions, okay? Because if I will explain this, if I will solve it, it will be of no use. So please work on it today and let me know if you have any question. I'm asking again, do you have any question in this assignment which you want me to explain?
Hi Tanvir, can
Yeah,
we go
hi.
through that null question and that
Which
color
one?
one? I think it's number 6.
Number 6 as
I
well.
guess it's 4 and 5.
4 and 5. 4 you want me to discuss this one?
Yeah, correct. 4 and 5. Yeah.
4 and 5, okay. Okay. Hope my screen is visible clearly or you want me to zoom this?
Clear.
Clear.
Okay, good. So question number 4, actually I have given this is very important from basic understanding of the nulls and the and or condition. First of all, let me create the student one table. Always, whenever you are trying to solve a SQL query, try to understand the data. What is the data? Here the data is, you have the student one table. Student one table. Let me mark it as null because you guys will get confused with null and dash and blank. Blank I have not discussed so far. If time permits, we'll discuss tomorrow. Don't worry about that. I know that is in syllabus. We'll discuss about that. You see, the curriculum which I have trained, intentionally we don't teach anything right now, like data type. You were asking a lot of questions, data type. Intentionally, we're not going into that discussion right now. Once you will achieve some maturity level, then I will explain you what is varchar, varchar2 normal system. Okay, so this is a student one table. Now here, what is the first question? ID is null. So what is the solution for this? Where ID is null, right? So you got all the records where ID is null. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Name is null. You will write where name is null. ID is not null. Just write ID is not null. You will get all the records where ID is not null. You see, you are getting this record ID1. ID is not null. A, B, C, D. Any question in this?
No.
No. Now question number E. ID and name both are null. You want that record where ID and name both are null. What to do in this query?
And condition where
And
ID
ID is null and name is null. Okay. You see, you got the record where both are null.
Yeah.
So here I want to explain you that AND condition. Don't think that which is null, so AND will behave differently. No. Even if your data is null, AND operator or operator will behave in the same manner. If either ID is null or name is null, what you will do here? Replace this with OR operator. If you see the output, you see here ID is null, here name is null, here both are null, because that is what your OR operator. Clear? Total count of null records in ID column. Tell me one thing. Have I covered count?
No.
No,
I have not covered. That is why you guys are confused. Have I taught distinct?
Yes.
Yes. Then leave this GHI. I will start count today, then we will discuss it. Okay. Distinct ID is very simple. Just write here. Select distinct ID from sprint one. And please, when you're coming for a class, please revise the previous class recordings. Okay, then it will be easy for you to understand. Distinct ID means one and null. So distinct consider null, right? Very important concept. So distinct consider null records as well. K, display distinct name. So write distinct name from student one. It will display you distinct name. What are the distinct name? A and null. Is that clear? This GHI we'll discuss today.
All right.
All right. Okay. Next question. This assignment.
So,
Next,
Sanjay, you mean
related
to
to
say-
color,
Okay, sorry.
at least one color, yellow color, that question.
Question number 5. Okay. This question actually you can solve by 4 or 5 methods. But I will try to explain those methods only through which the keywords which we have discussed so far. Very good question. Actually, someone from a practice group has asked this question long back. I found this question good. So I thought to share with you guys. So let's start from practice. In practice table, you have this ID C1, C2, C3. Okay. So first of all, is the data clear? You have ID 1 to 3. In C1 column, you have red, null, yellow. In C2, you have yellow, red, null. In C3, you have blue, green, and then violet. Okay. What is the question? Question is asking to fetch the records which have at least one yellow present in any of the columns. Question is telling that I want only those records which have at least one yellow present in any of the columns. So this is your data. Abdul Rahman, can you please go on mute? So this is the practice table. Okay. So here the question is, I am interested in those records only where there is at least one yellow. So will you consider row number 24 is the output?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Here in C2 we have yellow. So we are expecting that this record should be in the output. What about this 2?
No.
No, because here yellow is not present in any of the columns. So we don't want this. What about record 3?
Yes.
Yes. Here again we have yellow. We want this as well. Okay, I will do a small modification in this query. Okay. Tell me one thing. Let me mark it as 4. Let me mark it as yellow. I've added this before as well. Okay. Let me show you the data now. Tell me what about this record? You want this record as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because here we are telling at least.
At least
This
one
at
yellow.
least is very important. At least one yellow. So here we are getting 2 yellow. That is fine. In question they have told at least 1 yellow. If they are telling I want only 1 yellow, that is another question. Okay, that's a different question. So here they are telling at least 1 yellow. So here we are getting yellow in C1 and C2 both the columns. It is fine. Well and good. Hope it is clear. Okay. Now here what we can do. So here it means I have to tell to SQL engine that SQL select a star from practice. Where? Tell me in C1 column what you want. Yellow?
Yellow from
Yes.
seed.
Yellow, right? Okay. Then you are telling if yellow is present in C2, that is also fine, right? Correct? So you are strict here or you are flexible here? Flexible. Which operator you will use? Or. So let's write here or C2 equals yellow. What about C3 column?
Same.
Same. So again, you will tell to SQL engine that if you have C3, if you have yellow in C3, well and good, please show me that as well. I will write as C3 equal to yellow. Got it? So see, when you are solving any question, okay, this is a very thumb rule I'm telling you. Complex question or simple question. First of all, do analysis on your own. Forget about SQL. Do the manual analysis. That okay, if manually I have to search the data as per the question, how I will search. Then translate that manual logic into SQL logic. That's all. So now this is a query. Let me execute it. Is this the correct output?
Yes.
Yes.
Any question here? Anyone? No.
No. Thank you.
Tanvir, here we are looking into the three columns, so that's the reason we cannot use in. Am I right?
Oh, you are right. So maybe you are thinking that can you write like this? Maybe like C1 in yellow, right? So then again you have to write or C2 in yellow.
Hi, Tanvir, this is Akash.
1 minute, Akash, 1 minute, hold on. So then again you have to write or C3 in yellow. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. But if your question is that no, is there any other way that I want to solve using in operator only? Yes, we have a way. I will explain you now. I will tell you now. Okay. And actually, this question was, I have actually simplified this question. Actually, we have two SQL practice groups. Okay, we have created that group for the external participants who are not from a regular batch. And if they have any question either in the project or the interview, they can ask question there and we used to solve it. If someone asked the same question, this was asked in the interview. But here the question was, you should not use OR operator. That was the question, but I have simplified it. Okay, then I will tell you that how you should not use OR operator and how we can solve it. Okay, but right now we are not in that position. We are not that much mature enough that we can use other keywords. But I will show you this question, how this can be solved using multiple methods. Okay, but
Okay.
hope this is clear, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Akash, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, actually I asked before. Yeah, so here we are checking only with three column, the yellow
Yes.
color. So it's easier to write three or condition. Let's say in real time we have to check in more than 30, 40 columns. Then what is the best alternative?
That is what I'm coming in. I'm coming to that point.
Oh,
Okay. Fine, good question. So right and now, select star from practice, where. One thing before that, I want to explain you one thing, okay? If I will run this query, forget about the question for the time being. If I will run this query, what will happen? Or what's the difference between this and the earlier format what I have which I have taught you?
Yellow is the value, not the column.
Correct, correct. Good,
So
good, good catch.
it won't run, I believe, but not sure.
Good catch. Good
Yes,
catch.
it might be
Good
right.
observation. Good observation. That Tanvir, why you have used value first. In all the previous example, we have used column first and then value. That is what you are telling Yogesh, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Correct? Okay. This is the twist here. I will show you the output. Is it working? Don't bother about the output. Just tell me, is it working or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's
So you can give the condition both the ways, either column first or the value first, it will work. First of all, is this clear? Because we have the habit, we have that inertia. We have learned like that way that, okay, first of all, write the column and then equal, then the value what we are searching for. But you can write this way as well. Hope it is clear.
Yes.
Hope this is clear to everyone. Okay. Now you want yellow in which column? Either
In
C1 or C2 or C3, right? In any column you want. So now I will write this. I am telling to SQL engine that SQL search this yellow in either C1 column or C2 column or C3 column. If you have this in any of the columns, please display it. Okay. So now I'm executing it. You got the output?
Oh,
Okay. So this is just the reverse engineering I'm doing. In all the previous example, I have shown you that I will take a column and inside that column, I will use in operator and then I will give some values, right? Like this example, if you will see, I have taken the column name and then within in I have given the subject name, right? Or the values. But you can do the other way around as well. You can give the data and then in operator and then the columns in which you want to search it. Is this clear?
Can we, a quick question, okay, which is the best optimized query in this? Because in the first one, you are looking at the column data and searching for the data column, and then you are searching for the data. And in the last case, you are looking for the data and then searching in the column. So which one is more easier one? Or I mean, in terms of optimization, or both are same itself?
So I think you're comparing line number 50 and 53. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right? Okay. I will answer that. Before that, 1 minute. First of all, is this format clear to everyone? Or if it is not clear, please tell me, I will repeat it. Then I will go to the performance part. It is not clear, then
It
please
is,
ask me, I will repeat it.
it is clear.
Clear to everyone?
Yes,
I
clear.
know we have non-technical guys, freshers, so and even we have experienced folks. So those who are non-technical or freshers don't think that okay, others have understood, so I should also understand. No. If it is not clear, you should ask it.
Hi, Tanvir. So just asking, this time we are searching for only one value, which is yellow. Let's say we had to search two color like yellow or violet. Then in this way, against the column, then how to modify the query for multiple values?
I will tell you that as well. I will explain you that part, that when we want to search two values in two columns simultaneously, how to do that, I will explain that part. Okay, just give me some time. Okay. So hope it is clear to everyone.
So Tanvi, the format will be remain same for the MySQL server as well.
It is same. You can try. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now, I hope you all have understood this query. Now, coming to the performance aspect, line number 50 is better from performance perspective, while line number 53 is better from performance perspective. Listen very carefully. Whenever someone is asking you a question about performance, first of all, think that, okay, which query will give less task to the SQL engine? Okay, which query will give less task to the SQL engine? The query which will give less task to the SQL engine, that will be better from performance. Is that clear? The query which is giving less task to the SQL engine, that will be good from the performance perspective. So whenever anyone is asking you a question about performance, think from the query which is giving less task, less effort to the SQL engine. Is this formula clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's compare this to query. Which one is better? You guys do the analysis and you will get the answer. It's very simple. Here in, okay, let's consider this as query 1. And let's consider this as query 2. Okay. In query 1, your SQL engine will go to C1 column, right? It will scan each and every record and then it will search for the yellow, correct? And then it has to check what is the next condition. It will analyze, oh, next condition is or. Here again, he has to put effort, right, to analyze what is the operator. Here again in C2 column, it will scan all the records, then it will search yellow. Then again here it will analyze what is the next operator. Okay, it is OR operator. I have to perform OR. Then again C3 column, it will scan all the records. It will perform the yellow. So here in this case, First of all, your SQL engine has to scan each and every column, and here it has to understand what is this operator. Is this clear? Got it? Now, here you have mentioned in operator. So by default here, your SQL engine will understand that I have to perform OR operator. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So here the headache of checking each and every operator is bypassed, yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Clear? That is bypassed, no? You have mentioned in operator. Engine understood that, oh, this is working on OR condition. We don't have to check each and every condition, but here it has to check each and every condition. What is that? Maybe you can use AND here. So that is why SQL has to be alert. He has to check what is the next condition. But the moment if you have mentioned in operator, SQL knows that, oh, by default it works on OR operator. Okay, got it? Now yellow, it will check in the C1 all the records, C2 all the records, C3 all the records. Now you tell me which query is better, 1 or 2 from performance.
Row number 58.
Query 2.
Yes, yes, good.
Okay, so that is why you will see that many people will write in cheat sheet or many other documents that in operator is better from performance perspective. Hope it is clear. Have I answered your question?
Yeah.
Okay. And the next question, what Akash you asked about the 2 columns, no? So give me some time, then I will explain you how you can use 2 values in a 2 column combination. Okay. Oh, okay. Next question. What's the next question you want me to solve here? 5 is done. No? Okay. If you have not worked on these questions, please work on it and let's discuss it tomorrow. We'll continue this. Okay. Now I want to discuss about count. Count I have not started, right?
Correct.
Okay. Let me start the count function. And if you think that my speed is fast, please tell me, I will slow it down. And please make the session interactive, ask questions. One more thing. Many times if you will ask question and I will tell that, okay, we'll discuss down the line, or this is not in flow. Like suppose if I'm teaching you here, is that September, October, batch is it? So far these topics we have covered. Suppose I'm teaching count today, okay. And suppose you have question from substring. I will not answer it. I mentioned earlier as well. I used to follow this sequence. As per the sequence, I will answer the solutions, answers. If you have question from any other topic, maybe joins, window function, any other thing. So once the class is over, stay on the same call and then you can ask question from wherever you want. Okay, I will give you that freedom. Okay, so this is the practice table, which I have shown you now. Okay, in this table, if I will ask you, how many records are there?
Total 4.
4 records.
4 records, right? Because data is very less, so easily we can tell that, okay, in this table, we have 4 records. But you all know, in the real project, we are handling 15, 20, 10 million records, right? Millions of records we are handling. And suppose in a table, you have millions of records. And if your manager is telling that, okay, please tell me how many records you have. So do you think you will copy it in Excel sheet and you will count it? Again, you have Excel sheet, you have a limitation of 1 million record on it, right? So that you cannot do. For that in SQL engine, we have a keyword count of the star. And this keyword, this count, we will be studying for the next 2-3 classes at least. Okay. So let me execute this. You got the output? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So what we learned, to get the total number of
Yes.
records in a table, we have to use count of a star. Okay. Now, suppose instead of a star, if I will put here 1, will this work? Let's check. Oh, this is also giving me the correct output. So what we learned, we can use count of a star or count of 1. They will give you the total number of records in a table. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. It is equivalent.
So Tanvir, similarly, can we keep count 2 as well?
Yes, I will show you all the things, Akash.
Okay.
I am giving count of my mobile number. Okay, what about this? Let's check. 1 minute. Oh, this is also giving me the count. Very good. Okay. 1 minute, hold on. I will answer your queries. 1 minute. Let me complete this. What if I'm writing -1? Oh, okay. Let's check this. Oh, this is also giving me the value, the same value. So finally, what we understood is count of a star is equivalent to count of any number. And this will give you total count of records in a table. Hope it is clear. Now do you have any question?
Sir, can you repeat once again? Actually, I missed from starting that select count.
Okay, no problem. I will repeat it. Actually, Firoz, we were talking that how to find total number of records in a table. Okay. So first I told that, okay, if you want to find total number of records in a table, you have to use count of a star. I think many of you know that count of a star will give you the total number of records in a table. This is the simplest way. But I was asking that, okay, suppose instead of a star, because in interviews, sometimes you can get this kind of question. They want to check that how much research you have done on SQL. So if I'm using count of 1, still I got the same output, Firoz. Okay. Is that clear, Firoz?
Yes.
I'm giving some random number. Okay, now check count. It's still the same output. So that is what I'm telling. Count of a star or use count of any number. They both are same. They both will give you the total number of records in a table. Is that clear?
Okay.
And then the reason behind this?
Good question. The reason behind this. Okay. Actually, what is happening? Okay. Before this, I'll tell you one big misconception in this concept. But before that, is this concept clear first of all to everyone?
Yes.
If someone is
Yes.
asking me, Tanvir, tell me what is the total number of records in this table, and I've written this, it will work.
Yes.
Yes. Clear to everyone? Okay. Now, there's a big misconception here. People think that if I'm writing count of 1, it means I'm telling SQL engine to count the data present in the first column. Maybe in this batch as well, few of you might know this. But this is a big misconception. It is nothing like that. Tell me if that is the case, count of 1 is counting the value in the first column. I'm writing count of 100. Do we have 100 columns in this practice table?
No.
No. So in that case, they should throw error message. But I'm running it. Why it is not throwing error message? So count of 1, count of 2 doesn't means that you are telling to SQL engine to count the data present in the first column or second column or third column. No, this is a big misconception. What if I write -1? Do you have -1 column in the practice table?
No.
No. No.
No, we
So
don't.
if I'm executing it, still I'm getting output. Okay, so this proves that count of a value doesn't means that you are asking engine to count the data present in that particular column. Hope it is clear. Okay.
Sir, we can
Yes.
say like that also, no? Like we can use Velcar 50 or Velcar 2 by 50, 2 into bracket 10. Both are the same.
Sorry, can you repeat, Firoz, what you're telling?
Like we are using now in query that Velcar into bracket 50. So the result will be the same as Velcar 2 by 10.
Wellcare. What is Wellcare? I don't know. What is Wellcare you're telling?
So he's talking about the varchar.
Sorry,
Oh,
varchar.
varchar.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
okay, okay.
varchar.
Sorry. Varchar. What you're telling about varchar?
If we using varchar into bracket 50 and or varchar 2 into bracket 50, so the result will be the same. Like
Oh,
that.
within this bracket, what you want? Tell me what varchar shall I write here?
No, no.
No,
Like in earlier class, what we learned that if we using the text, so we can use the varchar. Varchar
Right,
50.
right.
Or
Correct.
otherwise we can write it down like varchar 2 into bracket 10.
Right, right, right.
Both result will be the same.
Both will be same. Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
same in this also, like select count -1 or any number. So the result will be the same, right?
Okay, I got it. But why you are comparing this with this? This is about data type. This is different thing. Okay. But varchar and varchar2 sir, this both are not same. I told you that I will explain down the line. Varchar2, if you will use in Microsoft SQL Server, it will not work. So don't get confused with all these things. I have told you to use varchar2, please use varchar2. Why varchar2? Why not varchar? I will explain all the things. Please don't go in all this discussion now. Okay. Here I'm telling count of a star, count of one, count of my mobile number, count of negative, count of positive, count of anything that will give you total count of record in a table. That is what I'm telling. That's all. Is that clear?
Yes, clear. But I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me what's the question.
Is there any difference between the performance optimization? Yani count start, count one, count
No
-1?
difference. No difference in the performance. Although count of
Okay.
one is little bit better than count of a star, but again, that is a debatable topic because on different platforms, the behavior is different. But that is why generally, if you're asking, I will tell there is no difference. Overall, it is one and the same.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Why I'm telling one and the same? Actually, there is a difference. I posted long back on LinkedIn that there is a difference because we have worked on it. We have checked the parameter on the tool. But nowadays, different audience, they're working on different platform. We have Postgres, we have Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Netezza, Teradata, many other Hive. So different platforms, slightly it will. Satyajit, please don't do drawing. Where is it? Okay. Different platform, the performance will be different. Okay. So that's why generally I tell that count of one, count of a star, everything is same from performance perspective. Any other question?
so 0 would impact anywhere if I
Any number. 0 comes in this number domain, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah.
That's why I have written a count of any number, but that's a good thought. 0, how it will behave. Hope it is clear. Okay. Now, next. What about this?
It won't.
Let me run this. Invalid identified, throwing error message, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, listen very carefully. First of all, tell me what change I have done here.
Put in the commas.
Just I have kept SQL within quotes. You all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm executing and observe the output.
Same.
So what it is giving?
Record.
Total number of records, right? Okay, 1 minute. Hold on. I'm running this error message, right? Okay. What I have done here
Within quote.
within quotes. If I will run this, what will happen?
It gives the record.
For record.
4. Okay, 1 minute. If I will run this, what will happen?
Error.
Invalid identifier.
Error. Okay. 1 minute. Hold on. Now, if I will run this,
Value.
4 count.
okay. Now you guys tell me these all examples, SQL I have taken, Tanvir I have taken, some random character I have taken. First of all, I have not kept within quotes. Then I have kept within quotes. What you learned from this?
If we are writing anything in quotes, it is considering as a count number.
Good. Lalit, right? Okay, good. Anyone else?
When we are passing any string like the alphabet, so we have to keep it into the quotes.
And what that is giving as an output?
But the output would be the same, like whatever the count of that column. The
Count
table.
of column, not count of records.
Records, sorry.
I think whatever we pass under quote, it's considering, it's converting as a number, I think, behind the engine or maybe in the backend.
No, I'm not going into
So
that description.
any-
Just tell me what's the output.
Any valid identifier inside the count will be written the row count.
Count of a string, right? What this is giving, this is equivalent to count of the star. Clear?
Yes.
Now can I tell that count of the star is same as count of any number, and this is same as count of any string.
Yes.
But this should be within quotes, and this will give you what this will give me.
Total count.
Is this clear, guys?
Clear.
Yes, yes.
Clear?
Tanvir, again, okay, so when count star itself is pretty easy, right? So why there is a lot of confusion around one can use any sort of string and the number, string and the quotes and words and all that. Is there any
Good
reason behind to why this was developed or?
Good question. Question is that Tanvir, when count of a star is all alone, sufficing the need, the requirement, it is working perfectly, then why this count of number you are showing, count of the string you are showing, right? That's the question, right, Praveen?
That's right.
First reason is you never know in interview what kind of question you will get. First thing. So you have to be well prepared for each and every angle. And this count of star count of one is a very common interview question. Okay. Interviewers used to ask. First of all, is this clear? They can ask this question. First thing. Second thing. Second reason I will tell you, but I will not give the explanation now. I will give the explanation after some time. A star, you should not use a star. When you are working in a professional world, it is recommended not to use a star because it impacts the performance. Now you will ask how it impacts the performance. I will explain you down the line. So that's why you will see in your project, those who are professional developers having good experience, they will write count of one. They will not write count of a star. This is the second reason. Okay. Third reason why I'm using this, because actually I want to tell what is happening internally. When you're writing count of one, okay, it is like your engine is replacing all the data present in the table with one, and then it is counting it. When you're writing count of the start, it is replacing all the data in the table. For temporary basis, don't think that permanently data is replaced. No, for temporary basis, it will replace with one or a star, and then it will count it. Is that clear?
Yes, makes sense. Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And one more
Oh.
quick question, okay? Sorry, it may not be related, but do we get to see the calculation steps in the SQL? So like how do you see in Excel?
Yeah, I will show you that. You mean like if I have to derive a column, the calculations and all those things? No.
Yeah, so just wanted to
Oh.
understand that how the SQL engine is, pulling the data based on the.
Yeah, I will show you. I will show you all the things. Just the beginning, sir. Not many things are there. Don't worry, I'll show you all the
Okay,
things.
no worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but my request is to please follow my syllabus strictly. Don't get deviated, please, because we have framed the syllabus in such a manner that we will start from beginning, from scratch, and we'll check each and every keyword, how it behaves, the exception there, where it fails, and all those things. So just follow this strictly. Okay. Any question now apart from this?
Maybe a silly question, Tanvir. So
Mhm.
apart from we tried everything, right? Like count, star, one, any random string or name, everything is working and giving same result. What if we don't give anything within that double bracket? Like if we omit?
Good question. Good question. The question is, if I will not give anything, what will happen? I want you guys to think first, then I will answer this. Just share your assumptions, the logic thinking I want to check. If I'm not giving anything.
No, you
Invalid.
put space that consider as a blank. Then you should
Okay.
put that within a quote.
Okay, I'm not giving any space. What about this?
Error.
It's null.
It will fetch the results.
Okay. See, actually, the count function, it works with argument. You are telling engine to count. Engine will ask you what to count, sir. Correct now? If you guys are asking me to count, I will ask what I should count. Should I count number of cars, number of buses, number of houses, right? If I'm not telling anything what to count, how should one count it, right? So similarly, you are just writing count. You are not telling what to count. SQL will be confused. And when the SQL gets confused, it throws the error message. Okay, let me run it now. Clear?
Yes, Tanvir.
Okay. So count function, you have to pass some argument. You have to tell to engine that what to count. If you're not telling, SQL will be confused that what should I count? And as a result, it will throw error message. You can see the error message. But this was a good question. Any other question?
Tanvir, can we put count in bracket and null and then try it out?
Count of null. This is what you're telling, no?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I hope I have discussed the difference between zero, blank, and null.
Yes.
Okay. This is interesting part. Count of null. If I will execute this, what will be the output? Over to you guys. Think and tell me.
It will not run.
Yeah, invalid identifier.
Not run means error message.
Error message. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other thought?
Same error message. It will run. It is giving the 0.
It will run. It will give 0. Good. That's the correct answer. This will run, but this will give 0 output. Let me show you that. 0 output.
Yes.
Correct? Now hold on, everyone. Give me 3-4 minutes and then I will answer all those things. Okay, now see. Let's park it for some time. Line number 6, I will come back to this. Tell me one thing. I want full concentration. This count is very confusing. One of the tough topic of SQL. I will tell you why it is one of the tough topic of SQL and all those things. If I'm writing here, where is my factors? ID. What will be the output, guys?
It calculate the total number of IDs in the practice
No,
table.
but here I told count of any string and this must be in quotes, but this is not in quotes. So this should throw error message.
Yes, yes.
Earlier I have
But
shown,
I
I have written count of
think
SQL, count of Tanvir, this one minute, hold on. I have shown you I have used count of SQL, count of Tanvir as for throwing error message. But similarly, if I'm writing count of ID, this is not in quotes. This should also throw error message, right?
Right.
So what do you think? Someone was telling what you're telling?
yeah, I was just saying that since ID is the one column from practice, so I think it would give result.
That's good. So, okay. Now, right now we have studied within count. If I'm writing anything, A, B, C, D, name, address, anything, that must be within quotes, right? Else, that will throw error message. I have shown you right now. You might remember it, everyone, right? Now, if I'm executing it, now see, I'm executing this. Ignore the output. Ignore the output. The first question is why this is not throwing error message, right? That's the first question, that why it is not throwing error message. This ID is not within quotes. The answer is this ID is a column of this practice table. If you're writing column of any table, so no need to keep it within quotes. That will work. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Column of any table or within this table? Just confirm.
Column,
Column of
within count, you write any column of your table. No need to give quotes. It will work. Let me show you C1. What about this? Do you think it will? Don't check the output.
Yeah.
Just tell me it will work or not. Yes or no. If I will run this, what will happen? This will work or not?
Yeah,
Yes or no? It will work. Let me show. It is work. Ignore the output. Don't look at the output. You will get confused. Just tell me yes or no. It is working or not. It is working, right?
Yes.
Okay. C2. This will work or not?
Yes, it works.
Yes.
Yes.
So got it? So new concept. A new concept. Count of a column. No need to give quotes. It will work. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now.
Can we
No.
use
Hold on. Let me complete. Then I will give you the platform to ask question. Hold on. Now. This is the table, correct? Okay. Count of ID. Count of a star. Count of ID. Count of C1. Count of C2. Count of C3. From practice. Do I have practice table created here? See the practice table. Okay. It's a query. This is the query. Even this. This is the query. This is the output. Okay. So far, he studied that count of a star will give me all the records of a table. Count of any number, positive, negative, 0, it will give me all the records of a table. Count of any string within quotes, I mean, this will give me all the records of any table. First of all, is this 3 point clear? This 3 point only, any dot in this 3 point? Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then I told you count of column name. No need to keep it within quotes, right? No need to keep within quotes, and I have shown you this was working, and this is in front of it. See, ID is not in quotes, it is working. C1 is a column of this table, this is not in quotes, it is working, right? Okay. Now, count of a star output is 4. Why the output is 4?
We have 4 records.
Because in this table, I have total 4 records. This is 1 record, this is second, this is third record, this is fourth record. Then count of a star, I have 4 records. That is why output is 4. Is this count of a star clear?
Yes.
Okay. Count of ID, I told ID is a column of this practice table.
Yes.
Yes. I have mentioned that if you can use column name within count, no issues. Output is 4. You all are convinced? Clear? Okay. Count of C1. Is C1 a column of the table? Yes.
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 Count of C1 is giving 3. Oh, I am confused here. Why this count of C1 is giving me 3? Any thought?
Due to null, we have 1 null record.
Because in C1, you have a null record. So now listen very carefully, very important concept. Count of a column. You have the freedom to not keep it within quotes, that is fine, but count of a column will not count the null records. So that is why in C1, for you, you have 4 records, but engine will not count the null. It will ignore it. It is considering this record, and this record only. So that is why the output is 3 on. Is this clear? Clear?
Tanvi, one question.
Hmm.
When we are counting star, it is giving 4. So why we are not counting all the cells if we are taking the entire table from for the record?
When you're writing a star, no,
Yes.
it means you are telling consider all the column combination, and a star or 1 or anything, they will count null as well. Why? Because that is what I'm telling. It will replace all the value with a star. Okay. And then even if you have null, it is replaced with a star. So it is counting all the values. But if you're using count of a column, it doesn't replace anything. So that's why it will not count null. And it will count the valid values only. Have I answered your question? Is this the question you're asking, Lalit? Or
No, no,
something
no. I said when you count star in the first column, it is giving the value 4 right here.
Correct.
So what is the calculation of that? For I just want to know in when we are counting stars, so why it is not counting all the rows, all the means all the brackets? Yes, all the counts.
Okay. So you mean I should count this as 1, this as 2,
Yes,
this is 3,
yes,
this
yes.
is
So
4, like
entire
that?
yes,
No,
yes.
no, it doesn't count that. Counting function will go always row wise, not data wise.
So it is giving the value of rows, total rows.
If you are telling count of ID, it means you are telling engine to concentrate on the ID column. Ignore all the other columns. So engine will ignore all the other columns. This will be ignored. And your engine will concentrate only on the ID column. Then it will count the rows. And if it is null, it will ignore it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. It means it is counting all the rows, right?
All the rows. Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other question?
Sir, if it is C4 column, so then answer will be the 5 count of star. Each one more column is C4. So if we select the query, so count of star is equal to 5, right?
4 column. You mean if I have one more column?
Yes,
C4?
yes.
Okay.
And we
So
have
you
a
are telling
color,
what
any
will be the
color.
output of
Yes, any color.
any
we can
color
add
I
there.
have.
Yes.
Okay. Let me take red, black, blue. Yeah, this is what you're telling, right?
Yes.
Now your question is count of the star will give me what output, right?
Yes. Then it is 5.
Okay. Before that, tell me, Firoz, what is count of a star? What it does?
It select the number of the rows.
Number of rows. Okay. So is this a row or this is a row? Which one is row?
This is the columns. ID C1, C2. These are the columns. And
These
1,
are the
2, 3,
columns.
4.
This is the row.
Yes.
Okay. This is one row, right?
Yes.
Okay. This one, this two. How many rows?
2 rows.
2 rows. How many rows?
3.
3 rows. How many rows?
4.
So what should be the output?
Sorry, I got it. Yes. So
What
we
should
have
be the
to
output?
then 4 into.
No. 4. Got it?
Yes.
Next question.
So we can add one more line, like line number 5. So the answer will be the 5.
Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next question.
Hi, this is Akash. May I ask?
Yeah, Akash. Yeah, ask. Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be again a dumb question, but I'd like to ask. So if we look at the data of C2, the row number 26, I mean, which is blank, right? C2,
Null. This
yeah,
is not
that's the
blank.
one.
This is null.
Null, right?
Null.
Okay. So let's assume that we have another row, which is a number 5th row in that same table, practice table, in which
What data you want? Tell me.
all are null.
5 then.
Let's say.
All are null. Okay.
Yeah.
Null.
Let's assume that all the 5 columns are nullable, and we have all null fields.
You want this as well null? Shall I make this as well null?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me.
Now if we run select count star, will it give output as 4 or 5? That's the
select count a star. This will give 4 or 5. Okay. Count of a star. What it does?
It replaces
Count
everything
the
with
record
star.
with the star.
Yes.
It will count it, right? So in that case, this will be first record. This will be second record. This will be third record. This is fourth record. This is fifth record. So count of a star will give you 5 as an output. Let me show you that. So we have null, comma, null, comma, null, comma, null. This is what you're asking, Akash, right?
Yes.
I've inserted all null. Check the value. All are null. So now you see if I will execute count of the star, the same query. Check the value is 5 or not. Value is 5.
Okay. So yeah, I was just thinking whether if it is not taking null as a row, because every field is null. Okay.
Yes. Good question, by the way. It will take.
Thanks.
Next question.
I have one question. Like
Yeah.
while we selecting the column, so null is not calculating. While selecting the row, it is calculating. Means while selecting the star, it select the null also. Consider the null.
Right, right. You are correct. Yes. Got it?
So why it
Okay.
is, sir? Why it is like while calculating the column in column, so null is not calculated. Why? And while entering the star, it is calculating the null.
Actually, I've answered that earlier. If you are using count of a star, the engine will replace all the data with a star. First of all, is this clear?
Okay. Yes.
Is this clear? If I'm writing count of a star, engine will replace all the data with a star. Clear? Clear, Firuz, so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if it has replaced all the value with a star, do you have null?
Yes.
Yes. Can you find null here, Firuz?
No.
No. So how count star can count null? Got it?
Yes.
Thank you. Next question.
So Tanvi, any strings means only the character?
No, anything. Single
Anything,
character, alphanumeric, anything. You try,
anything.
it will work.
Okay.
Okay. Count of C1, 3. Why count of C2 is 3 output? Guys, please don't message on Zoom. I don't read that. If you have question, please ask. C2, why it is 3?
Yes.
Because we had one null.
We have one null. So 1,
Yes.
2, and 3. Got it clear? So
Yes.
count of column will not consider null. It will consider the valid values only. Okay. Now, again, there is a twist. Again, there is a twist. Suppose this ID I have written within quotes. Suppose I have changed the data actually. No, I have given here null, right? Let me remove it. Otherwise, you guys will be confused. Practice. Okay. Suppose count of ID I'm keeping within quotes. Now tell me what will happen if I will execute this. ID is a column of this table.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've kept that within quotes. Earlier I told you that column no need to keep within quotes, but suppose I kept it within quotes, then what will happen?
It will not treat it as a column, I think.
It will
Treat
consider
as a
as a string
normal string. Yeah.
It will
record.
consider as a string. And then if you consider as a string, what will be the output?
The total number of rows, which is 4, I think.
Total number of rows. Count of IDs for both are same. But now check this one. Count of C1. Now here is a twist. Count of C1 is giving output as 3, but count of C1 within quotes is giving output as 4. Why?
Because C1 under quote is being treated as a normal string, not as a column.
Okay, good. Count of column, if you will keep it within quotes, this will become count of any string, and count of any string consider null value as well. So that is why this is giving output as 4, because it is calculating null as well. Hope it is clear, everyone.
When we I have a question. I don't know. Maybe it will make sense. But yeah, as we discussed, like when we are using count star, so star replace with all the records with star, right? So is that same with when we are using count any number or count any string? Is it replaced?
Yeah, correct. But temporarily, don't think permanently it will replace. No, just for counting purpose, it will create a temporary table, it will replace it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Next question.
Tanvir, even the blank also will be neglected, right? When you try to
Sure.
count with.
No, count of blank you're telling or data blank you're telling?
The data is blank.
A data blank I will not cover. Give me some time, then I will come to that blank part.
Okay.
Okay,
And
I will insert few blanks and
previous,
then I will show you that.
yeah, and the previous question, right? When you just count with a null, right? So like how you're trying with the column name. So that was giving 0.
Good. Thanks for reminding. Very good. When I'm writing count of null from practice, why this was giving 0 out? Let me know. 0 out, right? First of all, is this null a column of this table?
No.
No. Have I kept this null within quotes?
No.
No. So ideally, they should throw error message, right? Because it is not justifying any of the conditions. Is that clear, first of all?
Yes.
Okay. Even then it is working, but they're giving output as 0. Actually, your count doesn't have the power to count null. So when you're writing count of null from practice, you are telling to SQL engine to count the null. And count cannot count null actually. So even if null is present in the table, and that's why the output is 0, because count cannot count null. You can ask that Tanvir, but you're writing a star, then it is counting null. No, if you're giving a star, then it is counting null. You guys tell me how it is counting null when I'm giving a star. I've explained right now.
Yeah, because it's replacing null with star.
The table is data is getting into star.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Any question, any doubt?
But it's pretty interesting when you put the null in quotes, okay, it counts like a star.
Good. Very good. So now the question is, okay, fine, Tanvir, if I will keep null within quotes, then what will happen? Now you guys tell me then what will happen.
Total
This
record will
comes
come,
under
I think.
which case? This comes under which case?
Any string.
Any string.
The string within quotes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So count of any string within quotes, what it does?
Count the number of records.
Total number of
total number of records. So now let me run this. 4. Got it? Is that clear?
Yes, Tanvir.
Any question? I see. I will tell you one thing, especially for non-technical or freshers. These things are not complicated. Don't think it is complicated or tough, or don't get frustrated. It's my responsibility to show you all the flavors of a particular keyword. All the count, if you search in Google, just in 2-3 lines, it will be over. That count can count the total number of records, but that information is not enough. If you want to become different in that IT field or from the market, you have to learn something different, right? Count everyone knows, yeah. SQL, you ask anyone count, they all know. But what all different flavors you have learned? Very few knows this, and this will differentiate you from the crowd. That is why if it is getting complicated, tough, don't get frustrated. Once the class is over, revise it, then it will be crystal clear. Okay, and ask question whatever is coming in your mind. I don't consider any question as a dummy question or a police question. Maybe it might be for you, but not for me. Ask questions whatever you have. Okay. Any other question?
Hello, Tanvi.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm just pinged one query. Can you explain regarding this query? It's been asked to me.
Select star 5 1 is equal to 1 not 0. Okay, this is used to check the true condition, but I will not explain now.
Okay,
Null
sure.
is equal to null is false condition. This will give you false output. Okay, so second query which you again, because null is not equal to null, that is false. You connect with me after class, because if I explain this now, others they will get confused. Okay, but I told you the first query which you have written, 1 is equal to 1. This is used to check the true condition. And the second query, select star from employee when null is equal to null. This is false condition, because null is not equal to null. Okay. Any other question? No. Okay.
Yes, Tanvir sir. I do have a question. So I mean, like from the what data engineers do, I mean, if they wanted to count null, I mean, they'll be using this select count, and in the strings they'll just represent null, right?
If you have to count null as well, you use star, count of a star. But if your question is
specific
that, no,
to null.
Tanvir, my question is, in a particular column, how many nulls are there? Maybe this is what you're asking, right?
Yeah, in a particular column.
How many nulls are there? So suppose this is our data, and this data, let me add one more record here, null. So now in this table, you have this data, right? Now suppose the question is, your manager is telling that, tell me in C2 columns how many nulls are there. In C2 columns, how many null we have?
We have 2 null.
Two null.
So in that case, what you have to do, you have to tell to SQL engine that SQL, please count all the records from this table, but which records?
C2 if null, we'll be using, right?
That's all. You told the answer.
Okay.
Nothing I have done. What's output?
2. So like as you said, I mean, so if we include the column name in a string as a string, so it will give us along with
All
the
the
values, along
records.
with the null values. Yeah.
It will give all the records of that column. That will become a normal string.
Okay.
Okay, that will become a normal string.
Okay.
Any other question? No. Okay, now I am jumping to the feature this one, and I teach to the chart. Let's check this one. Okay, count. Hope you understood what is count. Okay, now this is a table, my employee table. Okay, in this employee table, let me show you the data. Select a star from employee. Now, if my manager will ask me, Tanvir, how many total records are there in this table? So what should be the query?
Count star.
Count of star.
Count star.
Count of a star or count of one, anything, right?
Mhm.
Total is 12. Okay. Tell me one thing, guys. Count of. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. If I will execute this query, what will be the output?
12 for all, I think, because we don't have
All-
duplicates.
All this value will be same or not? First of all, yes or no?
Yes.
Same.
Same. Same. Why do you think all will be same?
Because don't see any
All columns having the
records in
value.
the table.
Because null value is not present in any of the column. That's a count of SR and this will be same, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it? So this
Yes.
again proves that count of a column will count only the valid values. Now see, there is no null, then there's all are same. Okay, fine. Now the question is, yeah. Okay. Now the question is that, okay, fine. Tanvir, you have taught us to how to count the total number of records in a table. We have seen different flavors, count of number, count of string, count of column, count of null, everything. And I hope all this will be clear to you. But now the question is, my manager is telling that, no, Tanvir, I want to find that how many employees are working in HR department, how many employees are working in tech department, how many employees are working in sales department. This is the question. Is the question clear?
Yes.
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 Earlier I taught you how to find the total number of records, correct? And for that you can use count of the star, right? But now the question is changed. Here is asking me the count department wise. Okay. So for that, what we have to do, you have to write department, comma, count of the star from employee. Why I have given department, comma, count of the star? Because now I want count department wise. Clear? I want count department wise. That's why I given department, comma, count of the star from employees. Then at the last, you have to write group by department. Ignore the query. I will explain you the query. Ignore that. Check the output only. Is this the correct output?
Yes.
Yes, it is correct.
Okay. Now, suppose I'm inserting one more record, 13L, and this is suppose your tech only. Now, if I will execute this query, what will be the output? No, not this query. This query. What will be the output? HR, how many records are there?
4.
4. Sales, how many records are there?
4.
4. Tech, 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me execute this. Clear? This is giving me the correct information.
Yes.
I know you have question that Tanvir, what is this group by? Why you have used it in other system? Now I will explain you that. Hope the requirement is clear to you all. Okay. So this is data we have. Okay. This is the query I have executed, and you all agreed that yes, the output is correct, right? Now let me explain you that how this query is working. Listen very carefully. Very, very, very important concept of SQL word. Which keyword will be executed first here by engine?
From.
Don't take this much time here. Show some confidence.
From.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct. From will be executed.
Yes.
From employee will be executed first of all. So you will make a copy of the table and you will keep it here. First task is done. Okay. After from here, group by will be executed. Okay. Oh, I know you all are confused. One minute. From joins where group by having left window left string order by limit. Actually, this is the order in which your engine executes the query. Okay. This is the order in which your engine executes the query. I'm keeping it here because it will be used n number of times during this book. I know I have not taught joins, I have not taught group by, I have not taught having window and all this. Leave all those concepts. From is done. After from, which keyword will be executed from this series? You are left with select and group by. Which one come first?
Group by.
Group by.
Group by. Okay. So after from, group by will be executed. Okay. Now in group by, what you are doing, let's try to understand. When you are writing group by means you are telling engine to create separate buckets. You all know buckets, right? You are
Yes.
telling SQL engine to create separate bucket. I'm going very slow because this is little bit tough concept. And if you're getting stuck, ask question. Stop me then and there and ask, okay? So if it is group by department, it means you're asking engine to create bucket for unique buckets for each and every value of the department column. Okay. So in this department column, let's start with the first one, HR. So we will create one bucket for HR. Okay. Let me create one bucket for HR here. So this is the bucket for HR. Is this clear? Any question? Okay. We have created one bucket for HR. Next record is HR. Should I create one more bucket for HR?
Required.
No.
No. Group by will create unique buckets. Already you have created one bucket for HR. Again, HR is there. You should not create because group by will create only unique buckets. Please don't forget this. Group by, let me write it. Group by will create unique buckets. You will be having question that why this bucket is required, Tanveer. Why unique bucket? I will answer all those things. Okay, don't worry. So group by will create unique buckets. So do you have unique bucket HR? Okay. Next record is again HR. Shall I create one more bucket for HR? No. Why? Because group by creates unique bucket. Already one bucket is created. We will not create any other bucket. Okay. Next record is again HR. Shall I create one more bucket for HR? No. Okay, next is tech. Shall I create one bucket for tech?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me create one bucket for tech. Don't think that why I'm creating bucket. I'm telling again and again, ignore that. We'll answer why I'm creating bucket. Ignore that why I'm creating. Okay. Okay. Next, again, tech. Shall I create one bucket for tech?
No.
No.
Next, again, tech. No need to
No.
create one more bucket for tech. Again, tech. Shall I create one more bucket?
No.
No. Next is
Cell.
cells. Shall I create one bucket for cells?
It's unique.
Yes.
You can create.
Okay. I have created one bucket for cells. Again, cells. Shall I create one more bucket for cells?
No.
No.
Again, cells. Shall I create one more bucket for cells? No. Again, cells. Shall I create one more bucket for cells? No. Then tech. Shall I create one bucket for tech?
No.
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 So group by will create unique buckets. Here you are telling to create unique buckets on department. So on department, it has created unique buckets. One bucket for HR, one bucket for tech, one bucket for sales. Any questions so far?
No.
No questions. Okay. Group by task is over. After group by which keyword?
Select.
Select will come into picture. I'm telling you right now, there is a twist here. There is one more concept here, but intentionally, I'm not teaching that concept now. When I will enter aggregate function, then I will bring that concept. Okay, intentionally, I'm not teaching that concept. But when I will cover aggregate function, then I will cover that. Next is select. Why I'm telling? Because I know we have many experienced folks here, so they can interrupt in between. So that's why before I'm telling, I'm not telling that concept now. When I will teach you sum, max, minimum, average, these are known as aggregate, then I will teach you the concept. So next is select. In select, you are telling to SQL engine that I want department. Now listen very carefully. This is confusing. Now you will get confused. Select is like your dining table. Okay, you will serve the food, the final prepared food. You are telling you want department, right? Now, these three buckets are created by group by department, right? And this is your original department column. Now tell me which one you will show. The select department, which one are you? Will you show this column, this values, or this three values? Which one?
All three values.
When you have used group by department, and then in select, if you have any column, please don't look into your parent table. This story is over. Don't think that now this is your column. This is your department column, the bucket. Okay. Then you have written count of the star. The engine will understand that you want to count something. The star means all the columns. Now, let's start with each and every record. First record, this will go in which bucket?
HR.
HR bucket. So I will write here 1A HR 100. Okay. Second record, this will go in which bucket?
Same HR.
HR 2B HR and sorry 600. Third record 3CHR 600. 3CHR 600. HR bucket. 4DHR 500. 4DHR 500. Then 5H take 300. 5H take 300. Then 6E take 200. 6E take 200. Then 7F take 600. Then 8G take 600. Okay. Then cells, this will go in cells bucket. 9H cells 300. Then 10I cells 400. Then 11J cells 600. Then 12K cells 600. Then 13L take 600. Now, first of all, please ask if you have any question. Then I will proceed further. What I have done so far, can anyone explain?
You have just put you have just filled the bucket with its respective records.
I have just segregated the data in their buckets. Correct? It is exactly like I went for shopping. I bought some apples, those oranges, right? I have bought some random number of apples, random number of mangoes, random number of oranges. Okay. If someone is asking me how many apples you have bought, how many mangoes, how many oranges, so what I will do? I will segregate it. No, I will keep apple in one bucket, mangoes in other bucket, oranges in third bucket, and then I will count it. You all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Same thing I'm doing. I have segregated each and every record in their respective buckets. HR, all the data of HR in HR bucket, all the data of tech and tech bucket, all the data of sales is in sales, right? Now the question is why you are doing this, Tanvir, right? There's a question. Why you are doing this? Can you guys tell me why I'm doing this?
To count it will be easy.
Because you have to count based on the buckets.
Because
He put the
question
condition.
was, yeah.
He put the condition by group by department. That's why you're.
The question here is why you have created bucket, why you're segregating it. Because the question was to count the number of employees of each and every department, right? That was the question, if you remember, guys.
Yes.
So for that, first of all, I have to segregate all the employees of HR. I am segregating in one bucket. Tech, I have segregated, kept in another bucket. Sales in another bucket. Now I will count it. In HR, how many records are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 records. In tech, how many records are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 records. In sales, how many records are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 records. Now I can publish this to my manager that, sir, in HR, you have 4 employees. In tech, you have 5 employees. In sales, you have 4 employees. And now you see if I will execute this query, this is your output. This is what your engine is telling now. Can you verify it? HR 4, sales 4, tech 5, tech is 5 here. Is this clear now?
Yes. Yes.
So you understood why I have created bucket, why I have segregated data, and then finally I counted. Now if you see, it is nothing your daily life activity actually, right? It is your daily life activity, sir. If you have to count this all things, apples, mangoes, oranges, you will segregate this in different buckets, and you will count it, right? Same thing I've done. You asked me how many employees are there in HR department. I created a bucket of HR. I put all these HR records in this and I counted it. Any question?
Small question, Tanvir.
question?
So Yeah. So we have written select department, comma count star group by from employee group by department. So when we are selecting select DPT, that means we are selecting only the department name, not all the records. I mean, if we look at the table, the department HR has 4 records, right? Whereas in the output, we have only one HR. So it is because we have used group by, right?
That is what I mentioned at that time, that now if you're writing select department, the SQL engine will not refer this column, but it will refer the buckets. And that's why you're getting only 3. Your question is very valid question, that Tanvir, why it is not showing this? Because now your engine is referring to this bucket, not to the parent table column.
Yes, yes, got it.
This will refer to this.
Okay.
Hope it is clear, Akash.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Next question.
Tanvir, if we have a null in department, so will it create any null bucket, or what would be the output for that?
Good question. Before that, tell me one thing, guys. I think I have not taught you distinct, right?
Distinct we
Distinct we have done.
I have taught distinct.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. When I taught you distinct, what I have shown, whether distinct will pull the null value or not.
yes, distinct can capture null value.
It will pull the null value.
We have discussed in the last class. Now, what group by does? It creates unique buckets.
Creates, yeah, unique buckets based on the based on the key value.
Based on the department here. If I have null here, right? If I have null, let me add that data actually, and that will be more clear. This is a good question actually. Suppose if I'm writing here 14 PM, department null you told, no? Someone told department null, right?
Yes.
75. This is what you mean, correct? Okay. First of all, tell me if I will write select distinct department from employee. First of all, what will be the output of this query?
Unique. It removes the duplicate values.
Unique values. So what will be the output? So what will be the output?
So it gives
HR
tech
sales
null.
Good. Let me show this. HR sales tech and null. This we have discussed earlier, right?
Yes.
Distinct gives you unique value. Tell me, null is a unique value or not?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a unique. That's why distinct is giving this to you, right? Okay. What group by does?
It creates the bucket
Group
for
using unique values.
Unique.
So now tell me, it will create a bucket for null or not?
Yes, it will create.
Yes, it will create.
Let me show this to you now. This is the one now. Let me show you now. What you understood?
Yes. Got it.
There is a bucket. So group by will create a bucket for your null as well. Okay. Clear?
Yes. Thanks, Tanvir.
No problem. Good question. Next question, please. Actually, this what I have shown now. So even tomorrow, we need tomorrow and next week class as well to complete count. Now in this count and group, a lot of concepts are there. So I know you'll be having question. Ask what the questions you have. Any other question?
Can we use group by
Okay.
without count?
Good question. 1 minute, I will answer that. Before that, one thing. Tell me guys one thing. If I will write count of distinct department, then what will be the output?
It will ignore the null value.
Okay, so what will be the
Four.
output?
Not 12.
What will be output? If it will ignore, it will become 3. But distinct department is considering null. Right now we have seen. So output will be 3 or 4.
4.
3 or 4, everyone.
4.
4 out of
4.
But there is a count. Count doesn't consider null if that's a column name. Department is a column name, right?
Should be 3.
Department is your column name. Right now I taught you that count of a column name doesn't consider null. Correct? So I am running this now. Output is 3. I know this is strange and that's why I want to show you. Actually, in this table, how many unique departments? You have 4, but it is giving you 3, right? Very strange. It is because count function, and if a column name is present, it doesn't consider null. Okay, clear? So this kind of questions an interviewer can ask you to just confuse you. They will give you this kind of data and they will ask you, if I will run this, what will be the output? Generally, you will see people will answer 4 because they think HR takes as null. Because they think if I will run select distinct department from employee, this will give me 4 output. HR says take my 4 output. So count should give me 4 output. That will not give 4 output, right? Any other question?
Just to confuse.
Hi Tanvir, one thing.
Tanvir.
One minute. No, 1 minute. Someone told confused. Yeah, tell me where you are confused.
Yeah, Tanvir, I'm sorry. See,
Tell me.
because the distinct, it have a ability to capture the null values from the
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So when we use the distinct along with the count, okay. So still it should be able to capture the null value, right? That's why we are using distinct keyword, right?
You are correct.
Yeah, that
distinct, but distinct department, this will give you the distinct value. So you are correct. But count nature is if you are mentioning column name, it doesn't consider null. Functionally, you are right. I agree, Silam. Functionally, you are right that it should consider null as well. Functionally, you are correct. If you are thinking from business perspective, it should consider null. But technically, count doesn't consider null because you are using column here. That is why it is not considering it. From functional perspective, maybe your manager can, suppose if you are showing this output to your manager can tell that, no, Tanvir, this is not correct output you are giving because we have 4 unique departments, HR, tech, sales, and null. I will tell that, no, sir, because no, count doesn't consider null when you are using column. My manager can tell me that, no, I don't know what is your count, what is your SQL. I'm not bothered about that here. I'm not technical person. Okay, I want to see here 4. Your manager is correct. So for that, you have to again modify this query so that to consider null as well. Okay, but count works in this manner. This is a strange behavior, and that is why I thought to show you this. If your question is that no, I have to consider null as well, tell me a query for that. That's a different topic of discussion. I will show you one query how you can consider null as well. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Someone was asking question. Someone was asking question. Please ask what you're asking.
Hi,
Okay,
Tanvi.
then, yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Tesha, tell me.
Yeah. If we write this similar syntax, that is row 96, if we write in code this department, so will you
This one,
consider null also, right?
this one you're telling.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Count of distinct department you are telling. See, this is altogether different thing. Why I'm telling this is altogether different thing? Because see, ignore this query for the time. Consider this query, count of distinct department. Okay. Tell me what you mean here. What is the meaning of this? What you want from there? If you are telling count of distinct department, this is not a column. This is within code. This became a string, right? Correct. No, this is not a column. So always distinct you want from a column, right? Correct. Now when I'm executing it is just displaying you distinct, right? So similarly, if I will execute this one, this is showing 1 because it is considering, okay, user is telling distinct department, there's one value, it is showing 1. That doesn't make any business sense actually.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Tanvir, what will happen if we put the count department at row number 105? Instead of count star, we put count department.
On department.
Yeah.
But actually, you all know the answer for this. Let me show. Before I run this, I will not run this. Let's analyze first of all, okay? Then we will, because if I will run this, you will get the output, you will understand what is happening, right? So before that, do the analysis for it. This is the query. So your question is, instead of a star, I want department. That is your question, right? Okay.
Right.
Before that, tell me what is the difference between count of a star and count of department here? Before that, answer this.
The count star counts the rows and count department counts the
column.
not null values from that particular column.
Not null, right? Okay. So far, everything will be same in this query as well.
Yes.
You have bucket, you have values. No, one thing. Thought of covering it tomorrow. That's fine. Let me cover it. I have one bucket. One bucket. Okay. But before this, someone asked some question that if I will remove count star, what will happen? Or aggregate, I have to answer that as well. Now here, what you want to count? Department, right? Now your engine will not pick all the columns because earlier you have used a star. That is why I picked all the columns. Now you want to call department. It will concentrate on department column only. Okay. So now this all HR will go in this bucket. This all tech will go in this bucket. This all cells will go in this bucket. This tech will go in this. Now, how many HR records you have? 4. How many tech records? 5. How many cells record? 4. So the output will be HR 4, tech 5, cells 4. Right? Let me show the output now. Oh, null as well. Sorry, null I missed. After that, I have added null. No? So you have null as well. Null we have not added here, no? 14 M null 1700. 14 M or N? M null 700. Okay. Now in this case, you'll be having a bucket for null as well. So this is the bucket for null. Within null, you will put this value. Now tell me, count of department, will it count this null? Will
No.
it count this null? No.
No,
So
it
it
will
will be
not count.
0. 0. So null, it will be 0. That's what it's showing here, null, 0. Okay. Suppose now I put here the star because I have inserted null column at that moment. Now check the output. What is the value? Null 1. Why it is giving null 1?
Counts.
Because you are using count of a star. A star counts null as well. That's why it is telling that for null I have 1 record. But it is telling that null we have 0 record. See here, it is telling null we have 0 record, right? It is telling that null, yes, we have 1 record. Why is it so? Because you are using count of the star and you're using count of department here. Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Tanvir, it's clear.
Okay. So it's 10 now. I will stop here. We have studied a good number of concepts today. Hope you all have understood. Hope you all have learned something new today. Few misconceptions might be clear today. I will stop here, but please go through the recording again today. Otherwise, tomorrow you will feel lost. I will show a few more concepts tomorrow. Okay. And then we'll proceed. This count is not over. Many other concepts are there. Like, see, you can ask question if I'm not giving group by what will happen. You can ask question if I remove count of a star, if I give group by what will happen. You can ask question if I have 2 columns in select clause and 1 column in group by what will happen, and vice versa. And group by if I have 2 column, 1 column in select clause, what will happen? These all questions are there. We will discuss all these things tomorrow. Okay. Now the forum is open. You can ask any question. Please go ahead.
Hi, Tanvir.
Hi.
Yeah, this.
Those who wants to drop, you can drop. Only those who have question, you can stay on call. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if my question is valid. In the last session, we discussed about case, right? The case and group by. Is
Case
it
in order?
Yeah.
Case in order by I thought.
Yeah.
Tell me.
That case in order and this group by, is it any way a similar thing? Because there also we created a bucket. That's the reason I'm asking.
You see, case is a standalone concept. You can use case in select clause. You can use case in where clause, group by, window function. You can use wherever you want. Okay. You can use, but it behaves the same way. The syntax is same. I will show you all these things. Okay. How to use case in select and all this.
All right.
Combination of that. Okay. Don't think that case is over. No, case is not over. Many other. I will show you how to use case in that cumulative sum and that window function rank dense rank. If you know all those things, I will show all this. Case is not over. Just a small example of case in order by action. Okay. Next question. Any other question?
Yeah, hi, this is Akash.
Yes, Akash.
Yeah, so you said that select star, count star is always expensive, and however we go for mostly count 1. And also you said that there is not much difference. So how that count 1 is making that little bit difference?
See, the difference, that's why I told in the beginning, before that, count of the star, count of 1 are almost same. Ignore it. Okay, first of all, the very straight answer. They are almost same. But we have checked that timeline, the performance of that. There is very minute difference. Okay. Difference comes into picture because the star, when you're using a star now, so that is considered as a costly keyword. Why? because the star means you are counting all the things. Generally, you will see in production environment, you're writing select star from table. That is not recommended. After select, you write all the columns. Don't give a star. So you will never see anyone, a professional ATL developer or data engineer. They will never write a star. Write all the columns. Okay. Similarly, on the same basis, count of a star we should not use, but use count of 1. On the same line, because star is not recommended. Okay. But performance wise, they both are almost same. Okay, because different platform, no, their behavior is little bit different. So that is why in general I tell they both are same. You use count of a star or use count of 1. But if your question is what is the professional way? If you're asking professional way, use count of 1, don't use count of a star. Okay. Hope that is clear, Akash.
Thanks. Yes, thank you.
Next question. I think it's for the first class, right?
Yes, that's correct. I joined in the middle.
Oh.
I mean, last 1st October, 2nd October batch, I missed it. I joined this week only. So this is my first class.
Okay.
Yes.
First class. Okay. Any other question? No? Okay, fine then. I will share a few assignment questions today. Please work on that. And then we'll connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay, guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanvir. Thank you all.
Thank you.